Okay, how you guys? I hope everybody is doing really, really good just on a healing journey in general. I hope that everybody is just getting everything that they need in this time. Um, so this video is about ignoring the noise and what people think about you. Now, I did this video because I have seen a lot of other people do videos on these, okay? And me personally, I think I was a lot worse. Well, I ain't gonna even say that. I think that at a certain point in my life, I started to tune out the noise more of what people thought and just go in the direction I wanted to go in. And so this video, it's getting to the point of understanding that sometimes you just have to ignore the noise and you just have to tune out what people think about you. Now, you got to also separate that too, because this is the thing, is that you got two different type of people, okay? You got people that's genuinely going to be in your corner. You got people who genuinely loves you and they want to see the best for you and they want to see you do great. And sometimes you're going to get feedback from them, and it may be more of them telling you something about yourself where you may be like, okay, well, wow, okay, they said that to me, so maybe that's something I need to adjust to. Like, I'll give y'all an example. I have a very, very close friend, and I know she would tell me, she would be like, Danielle, sometimes you can just be, act like, you don't care. You just real kind of nonchalant. You know what I'm saying? And I had to question that because I've been told that before. You know what I'm saying? And so, me personally, if one person tell me, okay, if two person tell me, okay, hold up, if three people, okay, some gotta give. So I started to really, really understand what was being said about me, as far as me sometimes being nonchalant about things, because it can give people off the vibe that I'm not interested in what they're saying and I'm not attentive to their needs and all of that stuff. So that's one form of feedback that I knew was genuinely from a good heart space. And it was genuinely to help me to see myself where I wasn't seeing it. And it was to help me to understand that that's something I need to change. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's what I mean as far as feedback, and that coming from a genuine person or genuine people that genuinely love you, and that they want to see you, they got your back and they want to see you do the best for you. That's what I mean by the feedback. Now, you also have another type of people where it can turn into criticism, okay? And this is how I feel, okay? When it comes to criticism or criticizing, all of that stuff, right? You got to realize some people are going to say things about you. And I know that some people will say things about you, and it can be said at that moment out of a real spiteful place, out of their intentions being not right on no level, okay? But one thing I've learned is this too, that take something from it. Not saying hold on to that criticism that they gave you, because you see the intent of their heart, you know what they were doing, but it's like step back from that situation of what was just said, even though it was said wrong and the intent was wrong and the motive was wrong, right? But I need you to step back out of your body and ask yourself, was any part of that true? Okay? And what I mean by that is that it could be somebody on your job that says, wow, she is not a team player. You know what I'm saying? She not a team player. She don't know how to work with people. She's not a team player. That ain't right. You know what I'm saying? And you get a whiff of it and you hearing it. You know what I'm saying? And you feel like, wow, did they just say that about me? You see what I'm saying? So you got to take that with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? Take it with a grain of salt and step back and say, okay, maybe to some extent, I can just kind of not want to, deal with nobody like that. You know what I'm saying? But the other part that you know was to degrade you, or to leave you feeling a certain way, or to make you do something in a certain way that they want you to do it, you got to throw that shit out the window. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that it's a big difference between feedback and criticism. I always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So you can give me feedback and tell me, hey, Danielle, you're not a team player. You know what I'm saying? I really think that you probably need to kind of maneuver a certain way, or just kind of adjust to certain things. That's you giving me feedback, and I can step back and say, well, maybe in this area I could step it up a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? But then you can get criticism where somebody is coming at you like, you need to do this and you shouldn't do this, and what you doing is not right. You know what I'm saying? And then you gonna step back and be like, hold up, I can't even receive that, because the intent and the motive and the intentions of how you just did that, I can't receive that. You get what I'm saying? So what I'm saying to y'all is that when it comes to ignoring the noise and how people think of you, you have to sometimes. You got to take the feedback and just kind of take that and with a grain of salt. But you got to pay attention. What is that? Who is that feedback coming from? Okay, so if that's coming from genuine loyal friends, or your partner that's really got your back and he's loyal and he's just trying to help you, then take that. You know what I'm saying? Take that and examine that to say, hey, maybe I do need to look at these areas and figure out how to get better. You know what I'm saying? But if you're looking at somebody and they just downgrading you and, you know, and making you feel like less than, then that's something you need to throw that shit out the window. Because here's the thing. Feedback does help you. But catch this. Criticism also help you too. And the reason why I say criticism help you, because this is the thing. When it comes to people criticizing you and them, and don't get me wrong, because as human beings, we were already programmed and built to want to be accepted, loved, all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so as human beings, we all want, and we crave, a certain part of us has and does still want that acceptance. You see what I'm saying? And so a part of us do still care what a lot of people think about us. You know what I'm saying? If you look at social media, if nobody cared what the next person think, they will go on there and just be themselves without no remorse. But because a lot of people as human beings, we care what the next person think about us, we are built and programmed to believe that we have to be a certain way and we have to care what people think. So we cover ourselves up in a certain way. Okay. So the purpose of this video is, what I'm trying to say is that, yes, ignore the noise. You see what I'm saying? Ignore the fact of how people think about you, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to look your own self in the mirror. You're going to have to decide it. So that means if you want to go off and you got a venture, or you got an idea, or you got something, a goal you want to fulfill, you see what I'm saying? You have to go off and fulfill that goal, because sometimes you're not going to have the support. Sometimes you're going to have more people criticizing you than supporting you. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes you won't even get but 1 or 2 supporters in your corner. But then you got more people criticizing you. You're going to have to take that criticism and throw that shit out the window. But let that be the driving force to let you be able to say, you know what, but let me keep moving forward. You see what I'm saying? And that's just part of life. No matter where you go in life, you're going to have supporters, and you're going to have a whole hell of a lot of people more that's criticizing you. And the thing is that you got 2 decisions. You can either go ahead and let that break you, or you can let that make you better. You can go ahead and say, okay, let them continue to do what they're doing, because that's not my business. People are entitled. This is my thing. People are entitled to feel how they want to feel, think how they want to think, say what they want to say. People are entitled to that. So what you have to learn how to do sometimes is just totally dismiss that shit when you know that it's somebody downgrading you or criticizing you, or making you feel as though you're not worthy. You just have to just dismiss that whole shit all the way. You get what I'm saying? But also use the flip side of that criticism to push you forward, to say, but I already know that I can handle where I'm finna go. I already know that I'm going where I'm going. You see what I'm saying? I already know that I got goals I got to fulfill, and I'm going to continue to fulfill them regardless. So I would say to anybody, when it comes to caring about what people think about you, you can't. You just can't. You can't. And I say once again, it's a big difference. And I think that some people don't get this. It's a big difference between feedback and criticism. And you got to distinguish the difference. And you got to distinguish the difference of where is the feedback coming from and where is the criticism coming from. Because if you, once again, if you got loyal people in your corner, supporters that's genuinely there and they love you wholeheartedly and they accept your good side and they accept your shadow side, meaning your dark side, meaning the side of you that can sometimes be real ugly to people. If you got genuine, loyal people in your life that accepts that ugly side of you too, and they give you feedback about something about yourself, you take that and you run with it. But if you got people that's not in your corner and you don't even know them from a can of paint, or they're not even loyal, you see what I'm saying, and they're criticizing you, you got to take that shit and throw it out the window, but also use that criticism as a flip side to motivate you to go ahead and do what you got to do, because you know who you are. You see what I'm saying? So that's the purpose of it. You know what I'm saying? For every negative, there's a positive. So if somebody's criticizing you and somebody talking about you, or they downgrading you, or they saying, you know, you ain't gonna never be nothing, or your clothing brand ain't gonna be nothing, or your YouTube channel ain't gonna be successful, let them go ahead with that, because they got a right to feel how they want to feel and say what they want to say. But what you do, you take that, you flip that criticism, and you let that be your motivation to continue to keep going forward like you've been doing. Because only you know the path that you want. Only you know where you're going. So sometimes you got to tune all of that noise out. And I'll tell y'all another way to tune the noise out when it comes to caring about what people think about you. Sometimes you just can't even feed other people energy. So when you got somebody talking about you or criticizing you, or they saying stuff to you because they want you to care about the opinion that they're giving about you, sometimes you just gotta not even feed that energy, because you gotta realize where your attention goes, your energy go. And sometimes you just gotta disregard the whole thing and not feed it energy, because you gotta realize energy is giving all of who you are. So when you give your energy to something that's criticizing you, you are basically saying that that's what matters to me. They criticizing me. What they said about me matters. So when you feed your energy to that, then you're letting them know that they of value. They important. What they just said mattered. And so sometimes you got to flip that too and be like, I ain't even finna feed that energy. You see what I'm saying? Because I already know that by me not feeding it energy, then that's still irrelevant. You see what I'm saying? It's just like the breeze of the wind. It just flows back. It's gone. It's like a piece of trash. It's flying away. It's gone. So that's what we have to understand when it comes to what people think about us. You just can't. But once again, take the feedback of those people that are really in your corner, that love you, and they accept every aspect of you. They accept the good part of you, and they accept the ugly side of you, and they still love you. Now, the feedback that they give you, take that. But also make sure that when they give you feedback, just make sure that you step back out of your own body and just step back and say, okay, is it any truth to what they're saying? You see what I'm saying? Like, for me, you know, I'll say this, when it comes to me, my mouth can be reckless, honey. My mouth can be, it can be something else. You know what I'm saying? I can be aggressive. You see what I'm saying? I can be aggressive. You know what I'm saying? I can even be, you know, a lot of people say that I can come off as being unbothered, but it's not that. It's just, I can sometimes come off as a demeanor of whatever, like nonchalant. And I think that that's stuff I've still got to work on, because when it comes to people criticizing me, oh yes, I can just be very nonchalant and throw that shit out the window. But when it comes to the people that really love me and they in my corner and they support me and they do give me feedback and tell me something, then that stuff I gotta take into consideration and take within me to examine myself to say, if I am nonchalant with them, then I need to check myself, because they loyal. They support me. You know what I'm saying? They genuinely got my best interest at heart. So let me step back and look at myself. You see what I'm saying? So it can go either way. And that's what I would say to anybody when I say to just ignore the noise of those people that criticize you, that make you feel like what you're doing, or make you feel as though you're not going to get to where you're going, or just hating on you. Like, those are the people you just got to dismiss. You see what I'm saying? Just dismiss them. Don't even feed them energy. Because if you feed them energy, then they're going to want more of your energy. And then if you feed them a little more energy, they're going to want more. And the one thing I've learned is when people try to argue back with me and try to have the last word, I let them have it. And the reason why I'm learning to let certain people, especially when you're really not genuinely in my life, I've learned to let people have the last word and keep their own energy. Because at the end of the day, I got to keep mine. And I can't feed you mine because of what you're feeling. I got to keep my own energy and continue to move forward. So just look at it like that. When it comes to caring about what people think, yes, as humans, we're going to want to know. Yes, as humans, that's how we were built and programmed to believe. But also take and look at the difference when somebody tells you something. Is it feedback or is it criticism? And only you will distinguish the difference. When it came from the particular person or group of people, or these people that really support me and love me genuinely, and that's why they're giving me this feedback, or is this just total criticism where it's tearing me down, where it's making me feel less than? You got to decipher the difference between which one it is. And if it's somebody that's tearing you down and criticizing you and making you feel less than, then that's the noise you got to ignore. That's the noise you got to ignore. If somebody's criticizing you and making you feel as though you will never reach your goal, that's the noise you got to tune out and ignore. But also use every opportunity to move you forward. Also use those opportunities like that. Every time somebody tries to come in and tear you down and deplete you and make you feel as though you're not going to reach your goals, you're not going to get there. Every time somebody makes you feel less than, every time, flip that for yourself. Use that right there and let it push you forward even the more to be the best version of yourself. And that's the difference. So you got to know when to ignore the noise and how people think about you. And then you got to know when it's actual feedback from people that love you for real and want to see the best for you. And you'll know the difference. And that's how you'll know what to tune out and ignore. And that's what you'll know to take in as feedback to say, how can I better myself? How do I do better? How do I become the best person I need to be right now? And don't get me wrong, being the best person ain't gonna always mean that you always in a positive state or you got your shit together. No, it don't. Being the best person means you genuinely, authentically, transparently, you just being you. So that means you got a shadow side to you and you got a light side to you. That means that you can have at certain times your aggressive side can come out. And then at other times it doesn't. You see what I'm saying? That means at certain times the ugliness can come out of you. And then sometimes it don't. You see what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, use every feedback as an opportunity to make you better and grow. Use the haters and the criticism as an opportunity to push you forward and to move where you're going. And that's what you do when it comes to caring about what people think. So I'm hoping this video was kind of clear for everybody. And I'll say this too, that doing this YouTube thing, a lot of times, I'm just being honest, y'all, a lot of times we can come off as, you know, being a small YouTuber and you want to impress people and you want to be a certain way and all of this stuff. And I get that, and that's fine, to each his own. But I would just advise and say my own personal advice is that at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, be you. You know what I'm saying? Just be you, and understand that you got a light side. Understand that you also got a shadow side. You also got dark traits to you. You know what I'm saying? Because I always say, without the darkness, we wouldn't know what light is. And without light, you're not going to know what darkness is. So it's a matter of balancing out both sides of you. It's a matter of balancing out your dark side and your light side. That's what that is. And it's a matter of balancing out the feedback that you get and criticism. So that's what I would say when it comes to doing this YouTube thing. You know what I'm saying? And I love watching certain people on YouTube that really authentically themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't put on an act, they don't put on anything. They're just themselves, and they come